So everything you're about to hear is taken from this book, Tales from the Sea of Thieves, which is available on Amazon alongside other websites. If you want an in-depth biography of the storyline with every single detail meticulously talked about, then read this book. But if you're here to just point out the flaws in my summary of the story, then may I commend you wholeheartedly for being that one guy at a party that complains about the music whilst everyone else is having fun. Knobhead. We do not know his real name, but we do know that he came from a fine education, a family of protection, and a heritage of money. But before all of this, Flameheart was an orphan, who was saved and raised by his adoptive father, Flameheart Sr. Flameheart Sr. was the kind of pirate you love to hear about. A fully fledged pirate to the bone. He gave no mercy, looted and pillaged his way to great fortune around the outside world and the Sea of Thieves, in a ship that he was a crew member of, the Burning Blade, which was captained by a person who is only ever referred to as the Captain. Flameheart Sr. was always very protective of his adopted son, for reasons we do not know, and with the money he made from his profession, he made sure that his son had the life of a scholar. When he was home, he would enthrall his adopted son with amazing tales of his adventures in the Sea of Thieves with his crew, and this passion for piracy slowly grew in the child's heart. When his adopted son came of age, he had sadly learnt that his father had perished in the Sea of Thieves on one of his many voyages. And it was at this point he decided that he too wanted to take on the life of piracy and leave the life of a scholar behind. He had no skills in sailing or pirating. His only skill sets were from his fine education and the tales he had heard from his father whilst growing up. He visited trade posts and taverns where he grew up in the world outside of the Sea of Thieves to try and find a crew that might take him to this mystical land. But most people he encountered or questioned either laughed at him thinking it was a myth or simply walked away out of fear. After a night of wallowing in self-pity and drowning his sorrows in drink, he awoke in a tavern to find a glistening coin on the ground. He remembered his father used to own one just like it, and it was said to come from the Sea of Thieves. This was a coin of the ancients. With this coin, his requests for a crew began to gravitate more fidelity among those who he spoke to, and before long he managed to find a worthy crew and a fine vessel in which to set sail, named the Silver Blade. His passion in this time grew stronger, and armed with the stories from his father, he decided to take on his persona and named himself Flameheart, Captain Flameheart of the Silver Blade. With his worthy crew and his new vessel, they braved the shroud and sailed safely through to the Sea of Thieves. Flameheart was eager to begin his life as a pirate, and they moored their ship at the first outpost they could find. His crewmate by the name of Isadro had prepared a contact for Flameheart and his crew for their very first voyage. A mysterious old lady who was covered in tattoos told a tale of a mystical chest that was found on an island far from their location, cursed and extremely powerful. Flameheart did not care about the warnings that came with such an artifact and began to set sail with his crew in search of this chest. They were indeed successful in finding it, but this chest was unlike anything ever seen in the Sea of Thieves before. Its black shell seemed to pulse and quiver, and the face of a tormented soul could be seen by several of the crew members. But Flameheart's passion was so strong that he did not care for this mystical nonsense. The tales of glory and the riches that would come from this find would be more than enough for him to earn his father's name as one of the greatest pirates ever to be known. But his crew were not the only ones after this chest. Whilst at sea, several other ships began to pursue them for this mystical treasure. With their ship under fire and their crew under attack, Flameheart hastily steered the Silver Blade toward the shroud in the hopes that other ships would call off their assault. His assumption was correct, but in the process, the Silver Blade's hull began to buckle, the ship filled with water, and they had to abandon ship. The Silver Blade and the mysterious chest were lost to the depths, but the story of this chest was far from over. Flameheart and most of his crew were washed up on a mysterious island, shipwrecked and cut off from any sort of civilization, and no idea where this place was. They spent days trying to survive in its harsh landscape. But during their expedition across this strange land, they found a cave, the perfect shelter for them to rest. Within this cave, they found an opening, and in its center lay a golden chalice filled with fresh and crisp water. Due to their thirst and their malnutrition, they began to drink from this chalice and discovered that the water it held was never ending. Convinced that this huge cave system with winding openings must hold greater treasure, they ventured deeper inside, only to discover the deeper they went, they began to realize that they all started to feel much better. They no longer hungered for food or for water. They had unending energy and no longer felt the need to sleep. So they ventured deeper and deeper until they all became lost. During this confusion, Flameheart noticed that his crew began to lose their minds, but also their flesh. The chalice that they had drank from had cursed them. Flameheart too. His crew and himself started to become the undead. His crew, however, completely lost their minds, but Flameheart retained his and continued to venture through the winding caverns trying to find a way out. Eventually, he found an exit, but he met with another skeleton by the name of the Captain. This skeleton too seemed to have retained his memory of his former life, and unbeknown to Flameheart Jr., this skeleton lord was the original captain of the Burning Blade, a ship that his father, Flameheart Sr., was a crew member of. The captain, however, unlike other skeleton lords, appears to have a distaste for other skeleton lords. Before giving Captain Flameheart a quick history lesson surrounding what vile things these skeleton lords have done in the Sea of Thieves, he asks him to follow him outside of the cave. And this is where the story of Captain Flameheart ends. But why does the captain hate skeleton lords so much? And why was he too stranded on this island? And where is Flameheart Sr. now? Flameheart Jr. was indeed a skeleton lord, but it appears as though he never lost his mind. He was cursed, sure, but he was never necessarily evil, just passionate about his life as a pirate. So where is the original Flameheart? Did he die? Or did he go into hiding, waiting to end this story and fill in the gaps? We simply do not know. All we can do is wait and find out. That's it for today, folks. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video, then please hit that like button. And if you really like the video, please hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell so you're always notified when I upload. And if you're looking for ways to support me, please head over to my Patreon page where I offer tiers that give you perks for your support. Link is in the pinned comments below. Until next time, take care of yourself and happy sailing. Bye bye.